Hello and welcome to the Mighty Electronic Box for the week of the 11th of the 11th, 2013. 2 years ago, this would have been a pretty interesting or fun date to say. Anyway, I'm your host Joe, and with me as always is John.
Yo.
And Brad.
Hey.
Hello. So, John, tell us what you've been playing this week, because
Jesus.
me and Brad played nothing, because we're like
'Cause you suck.
tired. Yes. It's because there's nothing good out. I'm just going to keep that as an excuse. There's nothing-
I didn't really play anything new except for like a bunch more Rocksmith. But let's see. I played a bunch of Remember Me. And do
Was that
you remember how? Sorry, what?
Did you say Remember Me?
Yes, Remember.
Alright, I really thought you just kind of mumbled something and was like, like, what did you play?
Like, I remember when that game first came out, a bunch of like games reviewers were joking about like if it's gonna suck if that game's sort of average because everyone's gonna really be tempted to do the whole Remember Me is quite forgettable joke in their reviews, and that joke's actually pretty spot on. That game is just distinctly average and sort of boring.
What's it about? What do you
So you are a lady whose name I forget. In Neo Paris.
Neo Paris, okay.
Yes. You're in Paris, but it's the future, so it's called Neo Paris for no apparent reason.
Okay.
There's a bunch of stuff like that, like dumb like future terms which you got in like 1980 sci-fi, which just seem completely out of place and dumb. Yeah, and you go into people's minds and steal their memories or change their memories to further your goals, which I'm not really quite sure what they actually are. But like the one interesting thing about that game is there's like a mechanic where you'll go into someone's like memory and it plays out like a video, but you can like change like small seemingly insignificant things about the memory, and that like completely changes the whole sort of scenario. So like the early one is this woman, you like go into this woman's memory and she is watching her husband have like some operation, and you're basically tasked to make her memory like seem that he died. And that can actually play out a bunch of ways depending on what you do. Like I messed it up and made the woman die instead.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't let you continue because a person can't remember that they died. Obviously,
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. It just goes like this is a paradox or something, whatever, and just like rewinds you back to the start. So yeah, that stuff's actually like really interesting. But that was the only one of those I saw in about 5 hours of gameplay.
What, that was interesting?
Yeah, that was like the rest of it plays like a sort of generic third-person melee combat game, like Batman style combat, but obviously not as well done.
I was gonna say like anywhere. Like, is it?
I mean, it's all right, but like the interesting thing about the combat, I guess, is you can edit what the combos do for you. So it's got like set combos like square, triangle, square, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you can sort of change like the third move in this combo string will regenerate some health or regenerate some like special meter or will do extra damage, which I think is actually really interesting. Like, so you can basically have, right, this is my combo for regenerating health. This is combo if I just want to do a bunch of damage. And I think that's actually pretty interesting, but the combat itself isn't like on the same sort of level as something like Batman or I don't know, Sleeping Dogs or whatever. So yeah, I didn't finish that game.
I mean, Batman's kind of got its appeal because it is kind of very simple. There's not really much kind of room for customization in that.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's far tighter though than
yeah.
Like
it
Remember
is
Me's
solid.
sort of a bit loose, and the animation and stuff's not great. And it's decent like finisher moves, but you can only do them on certain enemies. So like it seemed like they actually had quite a decent variety of those, but you just weren't seeing them often enough because you weren't fighting against the right types of enemies. Yeah, and I mean the voice acting's pretty horrible, and I didn't understand what was going on in the story at all because I wasn't paying much attention. But yeah, remember me? I don't know.
You didn't.
I guess you're not going to.
See, this is what I mean. Is like it's so hard to like. Yeah, that game is not great.
It's hard to remember.
Shut up.
It's forgettable.
Shut up.
It's not memorable.
I played a bunch more Rocksmith.
Are you now a rock god?
I am, yes. I am
You are
Jimi
Dio.
Hendrix reincarnated.
I saw. I think it was in the charity stream we were doing. I saw one of your. You were in the chat, and it was just like it was something about the Prowler solo, and was like, "Fuck this song."
Oh fuck! No, it was the Trooper by Iron Maiden.
Oh, the Trooper, that was it. Yeah, I knew it was an Iron Maiden song.
Fucking Christ, piece of shit. I got it down almost like 95% maybe, but yeah, yeah. But I don't know. That game's pretty cool, and it is a game. Like I know a lot of people are gonna be saying, "Oh, that's more of a practice tool," but like it's got like the sort of Guitar Hero, play this song, get better at it, and get a better score sort of thing. It's it's got that in it, and on top of that, it's got all the practicey stuff. Yeah, and I've got a bass guitar, which like I haven't really played that much. I'm more play the normal guitar. So I thought this is like a good opportunity to see like how good of a teaching tool this is, because I'm pretty much a novice on the bass guitar. And yeah, I don't know. I think I'm a better bass guitarist than I was like a couple of weeks ago. So
cool.
Yeah. It's cool. It's not like I don't think it should be the sole method of learning an instrument. For someone who's just trying out, like don't expect to just buy this and then like after a couple of months be amazing. Like you've still got to do other stuff. It's certainly not great for like doing like theory stuff. Like there's a bit of that in there, but it's not, you're not going to learn all your triads and all your. I mean, like I don't really know that much of that stuff because I basically learned by learning songs as opposed to, learning theory. But like my theory base is better than the stuff that it teaches you in game. So if you want theory, buy a book or something. But yeah, that's Rocksmith. That game is pretty awesome. I played a bit more of The Last of Us, trying to get through that on survival. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's the hardest mode. How far are you through it?
I've just got to winter, I think.
Right.
I've just got to the bit where Joel gets injured.
That can be pretty tricky on Survivor.
Yeah. I've just okay. I still don't want to spoil that game because people.
Yeah, Brad, get the fuck on that.
But yeah, that game still is rad, dudes.
Yeah, that is a very good game. It's good shit.
Yeah.
That game is memorable. Indeed.
I finished Volgar the Viking. Started and finished.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that game's pretty awesome. That game brought out some of like the biggest emotions in me like a game has ever done. Just going from like complete despair to like jumping out of my seat, like swearing because I've just beat a level. That game's pretty rad. I don't like the platforming sort of stuff. It doesn't really focus that much on that, but it's quite stiff. I sort of know like that's sort of the point of it, but like coming off stuff like Super Meat Boy where it's like you have like just crazy sort of amounts of air control. Like that game is not about that. Like when you jump or like double jump, like you're committing to jumping a certain distance. You can't
so
really,
you can't control it like mid.
Yeah. Nah. So that was sort of tough to get used to, but yeah, like that game's got pretty good music, like awesome animation. And yeah, it's can be pretty balls hard. There's like the Path of the Valkyrie stuff that you have to do a bunch of stuff to get to, which I haven't attempted yet. Which I might.
So what's like the combat stuff like? Is it like kind of just 2D action or?
Yeah, it's fairly basic. It's just X to swing your sword. You've got like a couple of jumping attacks. And as you get upgrades through the level, like you get like a wooden shield which can break, and then you get like an unbreakable shield. You've got like a spear, which upgrades as well, and a sword which turns into a flaming sword if you get like 4 upgrades in a row. But like if you get hit, you lose one of your upgrades or 2 of your upgrades, depending on when you get hit. So yeah, it's like the combat's fairly basic, but you're not gonna be pulling off like combo strings or anything. But it's way more of like a puzzle game than a sort of Well, I don't know if puzzle game's the right term, but it's not about being great at the combat, I guess.
It's very memorization.
Yeah.
It's just learning, what's the pattern through the level.
Yeah, and then executing on that, which
there is a little bit of skill.
Distinctly different things, as I found out a couple of times. Like, I've got this boss down, I know exactly what he does, and then like 2 minutes later, it'd be dead and like punching my laptop. I played that with like a PS4 controller, not PS4, PS3 controller, and that worked pretty well. Like using the D-pad, because I don't really think that game is meant to be played with like mouse and keyboard controls. And yeah, that was good. It takes a bit of setting up because it's like for some reason like triangle defaults to being the pause button. The buttons are all messed up, so like you've got to sort of reconfigure everything. But
is it like that even if you play it with like a 360 pad?
I don't know, because I don't have one of those wireless adapter things for my 360 pad, so you'd have to find out yourself. Let's see. For some reason, I played some Hotline Miami.
Because that game's awesome. That would be a good reason to play it.
Just because actually, I think it was because I was watching Mr. Bradley Shoemaker of Giant Bomb's Extra Life stream, and he played a bunch of that game, having never played it before. So it was sort of watching him made me want to play it. And yeah, that game's still awesome. If you were wondering, I also played some FTL because of Brad, and yes, that game is also still awesome.
I didn't get to watch any of Brad's stream. Was it any good?
Yeah, there's some good stuff in there. I guess it's different to like having 4 people there, because you can't really have like banter with himself. So it's a lot of him sitting around and getting abuse off the chat, basically. But yeah, it was good. I watched about the same amount of each stream. Like I watched Brad's from about, I think it started at 4 in the afternoon here, and I went to bed about 3, so I saw about 11 hours of that, and then I watched a bit in the morning. And then the actual, like the one at the Giant Bomb offices was had some pretty special moments. Vinny putting the shot game down his pants.
Why? Yeah.
What game?
Those dumb shot game things. It's like the 4 paddles, and like whoever presses the button last gets shocked.
I've heard of them, but
yeah, basically puts one of those down his pants and then
loses.
Yeah,
that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, the way it works is if no one presses the button, which is what he did, like all 4 shock paddles go off at once, and he's holding 2 of the shock paddles while the other 2 is down his pants. So he gets shocked by all 4.
Why would you do that?
Because the Giant Bomb stream reached a donation goal or something.
Was
it when they got 100,000 he did that?
I think it might have been less than that, because it happened with a decent amount of time left to go. So
whatever flicks your switch.
Yeah, I guess it was interesting. So yeah, I guess if you haven't seen the Extra Life stuff, it's all archived on the site.
I watched a bit of the 4 guys going at it, but I can't stand watching Windjammers that much. So.
Oh, fucking Windjammers is awesome.
I like Windjammers, like, yeah, but they played it for like, I don't know, a quarter of the live stream.
Yeah, they played it quite a lot.
Like 8 hours of Windjammers is great and all, but
I don't know if it was 8 hours. It was.
That might be an exaggeration.
Yeah.
No,
but,
sorry, not 8, more like 6.
Yeah, it got me like wanting to buy a Neo Geo for some reason. I was like, yeah, I should buy a Neo Geo and get Windjammers, but it turns out that's like really expensive to do.
I played it on MAME. Yeah, it's fun. But
yeah.
Executing some of those moves, I have no idea how to. Like some of the crazy shit they were doing by the end, I was like, well, this is beyond me.
It reached a level of sophistication that I'm pretty sure I couldn't achieve. Which is pretty crazy considering like it got to its peak at like the end of the stream when they'd been up for 24 hours.
Yeah.
That was pretty special. I guess the only other thing I played was some Ni no Kuni. I finally pulled the trigger on that one and bought it. Yeah, I haven't played that much of it, but that game initially seems pretty interesting. It has a pretty sweet art style. It's Studio Ghibli who make like, I don't know, My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away.
Oh really? Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, the game isn't made by them; it's made by Level 5, but the art style and stuff. Yeah. So I mean, you'll probably know Studio Ghibli even if you don't recognize the name. Like, if you've seen any like Japanese anime movie, like it was probably them, because like that's the stuff that gets brought over here and translated and like shown to a mass audience. God, I'm trying to think about Princess Mononoke. That's like the other big one. Those movies are pretty awesome, and yeah, Ni no Kuni is interesting so far. Haven't really got that much into it, but it's nice to see a game that's like just sort of refreshingly like honest and like warm-hearted. Like, especially coming off playing something like The Last of Us, which is like, I mean, I love that game, but it's you know, it's so cynical and like depressing. It's like this game is just happy. And like the companion dude, Drippy, who's got some dumb titles like High Lord of the Fairies or something, has a really strong Welsh accent, and he's pretty funny. Yeah, that game's pretty rad so far. But apparently also like 80 hours long, and I've played about 2 hours of it, so that's going to be significant time investment. Why do you keep
starting these games?
I know, I don't know. I've got a problem with finishing games, it seems, especially like JRPGs. One of these days I will actually finish one of them.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe.
How many have you got, like, that you have started but have not yet finished?
Well, Persona 3, Ni no Kuni, Resonance of Fate, and The Last Odyssey. They're all like in the like 50 hours plus, like,
but not
range.
Yet done.
Yeah, I'm Persona 3. I've played it like 40 hours of, so I should actually just focus on finishing that. But yeah, I'm an idiot basically. I don't know. Yeah, so that was pretty much me this week, or these last 2 weeks.
Cool. Brad, did we talk about the stream? I can't remember.
No, we haven't, because
we haven't recorded since, have we?
We didn't record last week, and then the week before we didn't record. Oh no, I can't remember. Maybe it was just the week before we didn't record because of the stream. I can't remember what it is now anymore.
Didn't we record like the day before?
Oh yeah, we recorded early, then had the stream, then didn't record the week after.
Thought so, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I played was the stream stuff. So.
Yes.
And that's it for me. I haven't played anything else.
Are you not going to talk about the stream at all?
I mean, we can if you want. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, I just played through Resident Evil 1 through 5. It was pretty fun. Like, it was awesome to go back and play through those games again, especially like RE1 through 3. I still like those games a lot, even though I mean, it's weird like playing through them again, especially when I played through them for the stream. Like, I felt they had aged better than the last time I played them. I was like, these games actually as long as you kind of know what you're going into, like that, they are not unplayable, piles of junk. Like, they play well for what they are. So.
I mean, I've never played a Resident Evil game, and so it was at least interesting for me to actually see what those games are about. Kind of catching parts of your stream whilst I was doing some other stuff, playing some other games.
I still love the atmosphere in the first 3 games, especially. It's hard for me to pick a favorite because I think all of them have a pretty unique sense, like a unique kind of theme. But I love the atmosphere in those games. They're so good. Even now, like they are still strangely immersive, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I played those reasonably recently. I'm sure I've probably mentioned this a bunch of times. I played like 1, 2, and 3, I believe.
For the first time.
I'd played bits and pieces of those. I played Code Veronica X as well. I played like bits of those games. I don't think I'd ever played one of them all the way through. And then a friend of mine was like, "Oh, let's play these." And that was like 3 years ago. And like, I mean, I wasn't like massive on Resident Evil, but I still enjoyed my time with them. I mean, like, they can't really compare to like a modern game in terms of playability, but like I wasn't like, oh, this is horrific, like I can't play this. It's like, it's just getting used to, the way games were back then. Like,
I think it's like more the voice acting and stuff as well.
Yeah,
like,
the voice acting.
I think that like they're the kind of areas where it's like, yeah, wow, these games are fucking old.
Yeah.
But I feel they make up for that with like the file stuff. I remember thinking when I was actually streaming, I really want to go through all of them again, but like read everything because I haven't done that in fucking ages. Whoa, hello.
Can
anyone else hear that?
No.
Yeah, I could hear that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just got like a shitload of static.
Oh shit! I don't know what it was. I couldn't hear anything.
Oh well, we're good anyway. But yeah, I'd really like to go through them again and just have a really good refresh on like the backstory of like 1 through 3, because like a lot of the stuff that is the more interesting information in that game is not in the main game. Like it's in all the files and stuff that's like hidden throughout all the rooms and stuff. And if you don't read that, especially in Resident Evil 1, if you don't read that stuff, you miss out on quite a bit. And that's one thing that even to this day I still miss about like RE4 and 5. Like they had that stuff in them, but it's nowhere near as good. It's nowhere near as good as like, because in like, especially in the first Resident Evil, there's a couple of them that I still remember quite well. There's some diaries of like the people that have been infected, and like they are like writing entries as they're turning, which is pretty cool. Like you get to like there's some pretty good stuff in there, and they really kind of let that stuff fall off like the further in the series they got. But yeah, that's like all I played that's noteworthy really. So.
I mean, I should probably mention what I did. I mean, on that stream, the charity stream we did, I just played a bit more Grand Theft Auto, like I have been recently. Did you watch the highlight videos I posted in the thread, John?
I missed like a bunch of that stuff, so I need to go back and watch it. I mean, I saw like the first. I think I saw pretty much up to Joe finishing Resident Evil 3, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I may have seen all of Joe's stuff, and then like. I was busy pretty much that whole weekend, and then I caught like the very end when God, who was it? Was it Jeff playing Phantasy Star? Yeah. So yeah, I need to catch it. Is that stuff archived?
I don't know if Fat Tony's archived it properly this time or not. So I wouldn't be able to say. There is I think GVCER is a YouTube channel. If you type that in, and it will come up with stuff. There might be stuff from the newest one on there. I don't really know. Joe, in the thread, I put a couple of videos I put together. Did you see them or not?
No, I haven't seen them yet.
Okay. I put some highlights of my 2 GTA runs. I did 2 in the end because the first one was so bad. I felt like I had to have another go. And there's some highlights from the first one. When I say highlights, they're like the shittiest moments. There was just a couple of things I said that really, like, looking back on them, they're like really ironic. considering what happened later on. So there's that time when I was talking to you and just sort of, I was just explaining why we're doing the live stream, and then I was like, I'm really deep in this run, and then just went fuck because I got busted immediately
Oh, yeah, I
afterwards.
remember that bit. That was good.
Yeah, I made a highlight of that, which is quite funny. But my favorite one is I was talking to Jeff before he went off to go sleep, and I was talking about what I thought the hardest part of the run was. I was like, oh, when I get to Taxi 3, I'll be shitting it quite badly because I don't really particularly like the third taxi mission you have to do. And then he said, what, more than cherry poppers? And I was like, just like offhandedly, just like, yeah, cherry poppers is easy, man. Like, the only way I could fail cherry poppers is if I fall asleep. And then I got busted twice on cherry poppers later on,
too.
like an hour later. So that video, like putting those two next to each other, is kind of amusing. That's the last time I ever insult cherry poppers on a speed run. I did play a couple of other games, I guess, that I probably should mention. Only like one really. I played a bunch of Terraria again because there was the new update for Terraria, but there's nothing really to say there. I didn't play any of the new content. I just was playing some more of that for fun. But what I did play was Typing of the Dead. There's a new Typing of the Dead.
Yes, there is.
There is. Have you read into like any of the information about that game, John?
No.
Okay, it's really interesting, the story of how that got made. So basically, they've released Typing of the Dead Overkill, which is, so for those of you who don't know, Typing of the Dead it was a Dreamcast game, right? The original Typing of the Dead?
Yeah.
It was just basically, they took the House of the Dead and replaced all of the shooting with a keyboard that you could plug into the Dreamcast, and you would have to type words to kill zombies. And it's just, that's the basic premise for it. And they've remade one for Overkill, which was the House of the Dead game that came out on the Wii, I think.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about this game, they were given the project, the team that ended up making the game were given the project, and I think they had like less than 3 months to turn it around and get it out the door. And they were given that job. And then whilst they were working on it, they like went into administration. Like they just basically just shut up shop, go home. We have no money. We can't make this game anymore. And so the guy who was the head of the studio got that news and then just immediately turned to Sega and said, please let us make this game. Like, we don't need any support. Just let us keep working on it and we'll put this game out. And then out of nowhere, literally just completely out of nowhere, it just came out on Steam. There was no marketing for it. It wasn't even mentioned that this game ever was being made at any point. It just appeared on Steam. And then what Sega did was, I think they made it half price to start with. Like, they literally launched it at half price. And it's gone down so well. Like, it sold far more than it had any right to sell. And it had no marketing support or anything at all. They just put it out there. And just people's nostalgia for the first one has meant that it's done really, really well, all things considered, which is kind of cool. And it's pretty decent as well, actually. The story is hilariously bad in the worst ways. I don't know if you have Wii, both of you, or just Joe?
I have a Wii, but it's in the loft.
Yeah, I doubt you played this.
So yeah, I don't really have a Wii.
I doubt you played this game back when it came out on the Wii. But
no, I literally bought my Wii to play the Geometry Wars on the Wii, and that's it. That's the only reason I bought it.
Given the talk of like sexism in the games industry and all that shit at the moment, the story in this game is just so perfectly out of place.
Yeah.
It's oh god, it's sexist, racist. At one point, they call a disabled person a vegetable. It is so inappropriate. It's like you're constantly cringing listening to the dialogue in the game, and it must be at least somewhat self-aware. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just bad.
Yeah, the look of that. I mean, that first mission. I don't know if the other missions are any different, but that one in the mansion is like, it's like 70s exploitation stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I think the thing people said about the first game, I mean, yeah, the one on the Wii, is that like it didn't feel self-aware. It just felt like crazy Japanese people making a 70s exploitation, but like taking it sort of seriously, and like that's what it was like so bad it's funny sort of thing.
Yes, that's the vibe I've gotten from it so
Yeah.
far. I hope it's self-aware, but it probably isn't, and it's also just really awkward, just from start to finish. Other than that, I don't know. I played some more Pokemon, guys. Do you want to talk about Pokemon?
Not really.
And I caught the legendary. I caught Xerneas.
Cool.
So I caught it in the first ball I threw at it, which kind of was an anticlimactic moment. Usually you like waste 100 Pokeballs on the legendary, but no, I just threw one and it just went in, and I was like, okay, game. It was the only redeeming part of that section of the game, actually, because like that part was bullshit. Yeah, I don't have anything else to talk about. Should we talk about news?
Yeah, sure. What news is there?
You got a list.
Did I? There's no list. Oh, we kind of have a list.
Chat.
Oh,
I
yeah.
made a list. You told me to make a list.
Okay, does this really qualify as a list?
You're a list.
I mean, really?
Shut up.
Anyway, there was something about Blizzard that you wanted to talk about.
Alright, I'll talk about Blizzard. Okay, BlizzCon. BlizzCon happened, we're recording on Sunday today, so that's the 10th. For those of you out there. BlizzCon, I don't know if it's still on, it must still be on, but it started on Friday, it was also on Saturday. There was an awesome StarCraft tournament, which had some of the best StarCraft games I've ever seen, and I got really, really excited. At one point, I was fist pumping. It was that exciting. Jaedong was awesome, and then he came second again, which is so bad. Jaedong, you guys won't know, he is an ex-StarCraft Brood War pro, so he's been on the scene for many, many years, like decades now, of playing as a pro. And when the StarCraft 1 scene dried up, he made the transition to StarCraft 2, and he's coming to StarCraft 2. He was the official, like he is without a shadow of a doubt the best Zerg player of all time in StarCraft 1. There was no one better than him, and he was good for so long that his nickname is the Tyrant, just because no one has overthrown him. He came into StarCraft 2 and has picked it up really fucking quickly, and is one of the few StarCraft 1 players to have come over and done that well. Like, some have come over and done okay, but he is properly smashing it. But this year, he has gotten to the finals of, including BlizzCon, which happened obviously yesterday, he has gotten to the finals of 5 major tournaments and come second every single time. That's got to be soul crushing as like a professional player to just always come second. I felt so bad for him. I really thought he was going to win it this time. And this tournament was basically it's effectively the World Cup of StarCraft, this tournament, and he came second again, which was pretty sad. But other than
coming second is not really, bad.
It's not bad,
yeah.
But when the first prize was $100,000,
oh yeah,
it would have been nice to win. I mean, I don't even think he cares about the prize money. One of the commentators at one point said you could write a check with $0 on it, and if Jaedong came first, he would still be happy. Like he just wanted to win. Like if you came second 4 fucking times in a row and then got into the finals again, came second again, Jesus. The only other thing I was going to say about that, oh fuck, what was it? I completely blanked. Nope, can't remember. Alright, moving on. Other than that, BlizzCon is obviously also a event about Blizzard, and Blizzard had a bunch of fucking announcements to make. Recently they announced that their MOBA, which they're also not calling it a MOBA now, which used to be called Blizzard All-Stars, is being renamed to Blizzard Heroes of the Storm, and they showed off the first gameplay of that at BlizzCon. It looks like a MOBA. I don't know, you guys obviously haven't seen any of the screenshots and stuff, but it looks very much like LoL. It has towers, it has a base, it has champions shooting spells at each other. They're trying to change it up a bit and make it a little bit different from Dota 2 and League of Legends, and that's why they don't really call it a MOBA, they call it a hero brawler. And they said that each game's going to be approximately 20 minutes. They also said they're going to have more than one map, which is actually quite a big change from every other MOBA, because League of Legends, Dota, Heroes of New Earth, they're all played on the exact same map, pretty much. They just changed what the art looks like. And they're also getting rid of last hits, apparently, which is quite a big change, as we were discussing before the podcast started. And the last thing to mention is open beta signups, not open beta, closed beta signups are available now if you go to your favorite Blizzard Battle.net website and type in shit. You can sign up for that. And yeah, there's not much else to say. I mean, none of us care particularly for MOBAs, do we?
No, I don't really.
No.
I'm not even sure I even know what one is yet.
Should probably at least play one. Just they're free. Sure.
Eh.
Oh, dear.
I have been like so fucking just in a permanent state of just can't be bothered to play anything recently.
It's not great.
It's not good. It's,
Host video games podcast every week.
yeah, like I try and I try to think of like something new that I could play, and then I think about playing it, and I'm like, it's probably gonna be shit, so I don't want to play it.
So optimistic.
Yeah, I've been really like seriously, I have been insanely down on games like the past month. It's like the only thing I play is Injustice, and like that's it. That's all I can really find the motivation to play, because I have fun playing that, and I try and play other shit. And I can't remember if you were on the call, John, but like before we started, my copy of Batman arrived, but it doesn't work.
What?
It like the serial key, when I put it in, it's like, oh, you can't download this game in your country, and it's like an English copy, so I don't really know why. And usually I would sort that out, but I'm just sending it back. I just can't be bothered, so I'm just gonna send it back and wait.
Wow.
I'll wait for the Game of the Year edition. I'll just wait for the Game of the Year edition to come
Wait for
out.
the
end
game
of
to
time.
magically appear.
Yeah, because that will come out. You know there'll be one because it's Batman. There'll be one of them, and it'll be in the Steam sale for £4, and I'll probably buy it then. But yeah, like everything else is just like I just don't really care. Like I even Saints Row 4, like I still have that to play, and I thought about playing that, and then I didn't. And it's like Call of Duty. I was like, yeah, I could probably rent that, but then I didn't because it's just a shooter. Yeah, I really need. I feel like I need to like. There needs to be like a really different game come out. It's like something fresh. I'm tired of like a lot of what is out at the moment. So. Who knows?
I just remembered what I wanted to say about StarCraft.
Oh yeah.
By getting into the semi-finals, and he also got into the finals, obviously, Jaedong became the most successful pro gamer ever.
Huh, cool.
He
How is that like measured? Is that just like prize money, or?
I think it's just money earned. Yeah.
All right.
He dethroned some Counter-Strike player, I think, called like Fatality or something. I can't remember.
I wonder what that is. Like, is there like a figure attached to that? Like, amount of money they've.
I think it is. They didn't really explain what their criteria was, but they did say he is the most pro gamer.
Cool.
He is the proest.
He is
of
the
proest
proest.
gamers.
Proest motherfucker. He can put pro on his gamer tag and not be lying.
He is most esports.
Yeah. In other Blizzard news, Hearthstone, Blizzard were happy that everyone has gone buck wild over Hearthstone. In fact, they seemed very pleased about that. They confirmed it's also coming to iPhone and Android, which is great because I'd play that on an Android device. And obviously they're super excited to keep supporting it and get it out of beta. It's going to open beta, I think, in the next month or some point as well. Lastly, in Blizzard news, the Warcraft movie is a thing, and that apparently is going to be coming out. They've been working on it for 8 years now, or something stupid. 6 or 7 years, I believe. They're still claiming that it's going to be a thing. They said it's going to come out in 2015.
Huh. Like it. I don't know if like how many people are playing World of Warcraft now?
A lot.
Probably a lot, yeah.
The vast majority of people at BlizzCon were there for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I suppose.
And they announced a new expansion pack.
Huh. Yeah,
like, was World of Warcraft 2004? Or 2005?
2005, I believe. Because
it's almost 10 years old.
Or maybe it was 2004, because I remember City of Heroes, I played like quite a lot of that, and that was either 2003 or 2004, and I know World of Warcraft was the year after, I believe. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like if that movie's one any good and two like how well it does.
3 if it ever comes out. I mean,
I mean at this point if like they've got someone like Duncan Jones who's obviously a pretty well respected director and it sounds like it's like it's actually being talked about. That's the thing is like a lot of these movies don't ever like it's like some rumor or someone says, oh yeah, we'd like to make a movie of that, but then there's like no one ever actually attached to it. Like it seems like there's people attached to this movie, and like Blizzard are directly talking about it. So like I like the Metal Gear movie. Like I don't think Konami's ever said like yeah, this is definitely happening. This is a thing. It's like Kojima sometimes occasionally says, oh yeah, that'd be interesting, but it never actually materializes.
I think a Metal Gear Solid film would be really weird.
It would be
probably just really boring.
It would be terrible. It would be absolutely awful. Like, well, it'd either have to be like 5 hours long, like to do like one of the games, or it would be like an hour and a half and no one would understand what's going on.
I mean, how much time in cutscenes is there?
Like longer than like any.
Yeah, it's like by quite a significant.
Yeah, it's like a
margin.
TV series worth of cutscenes as opposed to like a movie.
Yeah,
it's like
it'd be like trying to do like when Game of Thrones I think was originally like pitched. It was as a film.
Yeah,
it's like you can't do something like that as a film. It just wouldn't work.
I think some games are unfilmable, and I strongly believe that Metal Gear is one of those.
I think most games are really. I think there's a lot more to what makes a game than just like the contents of its cutscenes being kind of made into a film.
Yeah. It's funny because there's not like a really good successful video game movie that you can sort of like be like, oh, this is the gold standard for video game.
I mean, there are some that are decent. Like,
yeah, I mean, I suppose Resident Evil, the first one.
No, the first one's a good zombie film, but it's still kind of shitty.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, like, and then what else is there?
Like the like the Resident Evil films now, like they are such a joke. Like they are, like, and that's why they still continue to annoy me is because like they're not even like the Fast and the Furious has kind of got like self-aware that's like this is kind of dumb, so we're gonna have fun with it. The Resident Evil films are still just as fucking dumb, and they still take themselves like really serious.
Yeah,
it's like that. You could like the contents of a toilet would make a better film than this. Like these are really fucking shit, and if you embrace that, you might have something that's at least enjoyable, but they're still not. So the Silent Hill film's not bad. I haven't seen the second one, but the first one was okay.
For the record, World of Warcraft has 7.6 million subscribers as of last month, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's like obviously down a bunch from the peak, but that's still, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big potential audience for
it's the most subscribers.
Yeah.
Of anything game related.
I just thought, speaking of video game films, did you guys see the Prince of Persia film?
No.
Brad, did you see it?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
I just remembered.
You just remember. Yeah, it's not very, it doesn't really.
It was alright.
Yeah, like that's like a fun, like that's a fun adventure film. Like they they did it pretty. They did it like enough justice, I think. But it's not like a masterpiece.
And it's not like those like the Prince of Persia series isn't some like complex, ridiculous.
No, like they are fairly straightforward. Just an adventure.
Yeah. It deals with some pretty straightforward concepts, whereas Metal Gear Metal Gear doesn't have a fantastic story. I just sort of admire the fact that it's sort of balls out crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like the overall story of Metal Gear, you'd have to like probably talk for an hour just to scratch the surface.
Yeah, totally.
Like if someone asked you what are those games about, you'd be like, how long have you got?
Yeah,
because I can't really summarize that, in anything resembling a nutshell for you.
Yeah. I mean, there's sort of enough like spectacle there that you could almost just not go in depth. Like, you could just like have the surface sort of like here's. And like Metal Gear Solid 2, it would just be like, oh well, here's a bunch of crazy villains that this dude has to kill, and then defuse some bombs, and then the end.
Which is basically Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it almost is. Yeah, so you could.
Yeah, like I mean, it was kind of it's intentional. I mean, like the end of like that's part of Metal Gear Solid 2's story is kind of the fact that it is just the first game again. But like it does it really well though, because I mean, even when I ended up playing Metal Gear Solid 2 first. I didn't play the first one. And a friend of mine was like going ape shit when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, and I was like, what's that about? And like at that age, like we didn't really get the story, and I'm not ashamed to say still don't really completely, but at that age it was just like a fun stealth game. And then when I went back and played the first one, like it didn't hit me until I replayed the second one again, where I was like, oh yeah, this is just like the same kind of beat, like this same kind of structure as the first game. But it's cool how you don't really like pick up on that straight away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how the World of Warcraft movie does. Just, I hope it's good. I guess. Like,
would you watch it?
I'd probably
if it's
just to see if it
was it's good,
just to see. I think that'd be one of those.
Fair enough.
It'd be one of those films that like it would be interesting to see it just to see what they have done.
Yeah, and like I like Duncan Jones as a director, so I'd at least trust that it's not going to be complete garbage. Like it's not being made by some like no-name director with a bunch of like Z-list like. I don't know, it's not like Ray Liotta. Yeah, it's not Uwe Boll, and it's not like Ray Liotta is the star of the show. It's like, actually,
what happened to Ray Liotta, man? Like, at the risk of digressing here, but what happened to that guy?
Probably drugs. I'm gonna just assume it was drugs.
Probably was, but like, the only like really good film and performance I can think of him in is Goodfellas.
Yeah, I mean
he is legitimately great in that film. Like that, his performance in that film is fantastic. But I can't think of like any other film except maybe Narc where he's really good. And again, like I'm not sure if Narc is more like the writing and the script that makes him maybe look better than he is, but still, like it just seems really weird that you would go from Goodfellas to kind of nothing. But
yeah.
Have you guys seen Narc?
No.
That is good. That is a good film.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his. I haven't seen a lot of these movies, so I couldn't really comment on.
He's in what the fuck's that film called? I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's like it's about this prison that's like set on this kind of like remote island. Like they turn like a like really remote tiny island into like a prison where they send all the meanest people, like very Escape from New York-esque, except it's an island instead of a city. And he's in that. I can't remember what it's called.
Is that the one where he's in the army or something and he kills like a commanding officer and then
No Escape? That's what it's called.
I remember seeing like the first 10 minutes of that, and that had a really interesting credits, like opening title credits sequence. I can like it's the credits, and it's like they're really stylized, like showing this like march, and then one of the guys just like leaves like
walks up and shoots
a dude in the head.
Yeah.
And like I thought that was interesting, but I didn't actually watch the whole movie.
The film it's like really weird. It's got what's that dude's name? He's in what is his name? I'm gonna look him up. He plays like a really good kind of lunatic, and he seems like the one actor in the film that's like in on the joke of like how the film is kind of shitty. And he's just hilarious in it.
There was a video game based on the film released in 1994 for the Sega Mega Drive and the SNES. So
wow, I did not know that.
All leaps back around to games.
I might look that one up on eBay. I would be interested in seeing that.
Yeah, we went off.
But topic. But what were we talking about?
World of
I have
Warcraft
no
or something.
fucking clue anymore.
World of Warcraft.
I was gonna say it was like any actors being like officially attached to that film.
If I had the article open, I could check.
Like
Let
I
me
feel like
check.
I would have heard like, oh, this.
There ever been any?
This,
Has there ever been like a big name actor in a video game film?
I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal and Ben Kingsley are reasonably big, and they were in Prince of Persia.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I'd say those two are pretty legitimate, like A-listers. And
Apparently, one of the lead actors is Travis Fimmel.
Oh yes, him. He is my favorite.
I
have
no
no idea
fucking
who that
clue.
is.
He's currently starring in History Channel's Vikings, where he plays a rugged, beardy Ragnar.
He plays who?
Ragnar.
Oh yes, yeah. That dude's a decent actor, but he's not anything special.
Colin Farrell and Paula Patton are also heavily rumored to take part in the
Huh.
film.
Colin Farrell, that would be
Mark
interesting.
Wahlberg was
Being
in that
directed by
thing.
Duncan Jones and written by Charles Levitt.
Yeah, the Vikings is a decent sort of dumb series.
I've not seen it.
Yeah, I think it's only on like Love Film in the UK. So yeah, but it's not like it's sort of like Game of Thronesy, but not as good.
I started reading part 2 of book 3 again this past week.
Just like randomly, or
Yeah, I was just kind of in the mood to like have a bit of a refresher on because the one thing that I'm worried about is that like by the time the 6th book actually comes out, which I'm not really expecting at least for another few years. Like I don't think it's reasonable to expect that book anytime soon. I'm worried that like my recollection of the books is just going to be completely replaced by the TV show because I'm only like a couple of 100 pages into that book, which by the way, it's weird. Those books, reading them for a second time are a lot better. Like it's really like because you kind of already know like the big stuff, you're able to like pay more attention to like the subtle stuff that is kind of boring the first time round. And already in that book, I'm like, oh yeah, this like they didn't do this at all. Like and this is pretty significant, and like they've left this out of the show completely. And I want to keep like the full kind of spectrum of the story. So I might go back and read book 2 as well, because there's stuff in that I don't think they did in this. Like season 2, I thought was quite bad in a lot of ways. I really didn't like the second season much. It was weird like that. And I think in season 3 they did some pretty questionable stuff. But in where I am in the book at the moment, you've when I don't know if you guys remember, but when Sam and Jilly they get in the show, they're attacked by like a single white, and that's when Sam kills it.
yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas in the book, they get attacked by a shitload, and like he kills one. And then, that's when he gets. That's when they get rescued by Cold Hands, which is like could be Benjen Stark or like whoever the fuck it is. But anyway,
I'd never even thought of that.
yeah, like they can. Like, I mean,
Nor
I
would
imagine
I.
he's gonna show up sooner or later in the show, but like it's a pretty significant. Like, what's the word? Detour, I guess, from like the story in the book, because we're in the season, like you don't actually see him at all after that, do you? Like Sam finds Bran and what's her face, in that place, which I really can't. I'm terrible at remembering the names of people in that series. So I'm like wondering like how they're going to do Cold Hands. Like, are they going to leave him out completely, or like because he's a pretty important figure.
Seems like it seems like an important character.
Like,
so.
especially in like lore wise in the book, like who he could be and what he could mean. He seems very, very important, and like they've kind of, it seems like at this point at least they've like skimmed over him completely in the show. So, but anyway.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if that series of books actually got finished by George R.R. Martin. Like,
well, there's only 2 left apparently.
But that dude's old-ish, and
I don't think he's that old though.
he doesn't look in the greatest of health. Like,
Jesus.
and it takes him like 5 years to write a book.
That is true. He's 65.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna look up the release dates of the books now, because I remember I was talking to someone at work actually when I was reading the book on my break, and because I've lent her the first book and she hasn't started it yet. And she was asking about like how long will it take me to read it, and it's like, well, I'm a really fucking slow reader, so don't go by my kind of standard. But I mean, there was 6 years between A Feast for Crows and A Dance with Dragons, and wasn't that the book where like he started writing book 4 and then realized that he had to write 2 books, and that was the biggest kind of break. And the shortest was 2 years, and that was between the second and the third book. Like otherwise, well, there was 2 years between 1 and 2 as well. But since then, it's been like 5 years. Storm of Swords was 2000, A Feast for Crows was 2005, and A Dance with Dragons was 2011. So I don't think it's I don't expect the 6th one to be here like before 2015 at the earliest. And they'll be on what season? If season 4 starts next year, then they'll be on like season 5 by then. So they could be into the 5th book by then. So
yeah. I mean, like the series will definitely catch up to the books to the point where it's like.
Oh, I think it will. Yeah, I think the series will probably finish. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do that because.
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't think.
Because hasn't he said in interviews that like he doesn't really like he has an idea of where he wants it to go, but he hasn't.
I mean, I think I always thought the thing was that he told the series creators like the base events that happen, just not like.
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah, because I think he writes like 1 episode per season, doesn't he? And the rest he kind of leaves.
So like, like in the event that maybe he does pass away or something, like they could still finish the series. I think is the idea,
I hope
but
that doesn't happen.
Oh no,
I really do want him to finish that series. It's weird, like reading the book for a second time. I'm enjoying it a lot more. It just seems to move better, kind of having been through it, once already.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think for the ending of that? Not to turn this into a Game of Thrones podcast, yet again. Well, before time, because it will turn into one in a few months. But
yeah, true.
What are your guys' kind of expectations for the end game?
I don't know. I struggle to think of a scenario where that ends in a way that's satisfying. I guess I don't know. Like It just seems like there's so many threads that it's like it's impossible to tie it all up in a way that's like addresses like the majority of them and isn't just like a cop out.
I do think like when all's said and done, like even if you take like the entire cast into account, I reckon like I'll be surprised if you need more than one hand to count the people left at the end. Because just like there are so many characters. I mean, not to get into spoiler territory, but like there's quite a few killed off in the 5th book. That they're not really filler characters, but like they like when they're killed, you're like, oh yeah, him, yeah, good, get rid of him. Like like you couldn't really do anything more interesting with that character, so yeah, just get rid of him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I still think. I mean, this is biased for me because Arya's my favorite character, but I still think she will be one that makes it to the end, and be a pretty big reason why a lot of other people don't make it to the end as well.
I think Daenerys has to be a shoo-in as well, right?
No, I don't think it is.
I mean, she's got to be a shoo-in to figure into the finale, but I don't know whether she's one that.
I'm not saying she's going to survive, but she'll be there in the last book.
Yeah, definitely, but I don't think she makes it out alive. No way.
What about the other Targaryen?
Oh shit! Is. Yeah.
He's gonna be like
Aegon. Aegon.
I think he's gonna be someone that like he's essentially just gonna be a plot device. Like he's gonna reveal something, or he's gonna cause some strife and then just die. Or
I think like Lannisters. Who's left? There's only there's Cersei, Tyrion, and Jaime. Like all 3 of them are left at this point. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jaime is the only one left out of them. I don't like Tyrion. He's again, if you've not read the 5th book, like he's getting into kind of I wonder how they'll handle that in this TV show, because like even though in the TV show he is kind of a dick, he is still like a fan favorite in the TV series, whereas in the book at this point he is just a ruthless cunt. Like in a lot of ways, it's hard to root for him at that point.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, that's why I always thought it was weird the way they handled Tywin in the series.
the TV show. I mean,
Yeah, in the show.
I
Like,
think he's fucking boss in the TV show.
like making him like someone that seemed like not like a complete dick. Like it seemed like he sort of resented like Cersei and Jaime for being sort of pieces of shit. And like he didn't always seem like a complete dick. And then like towards like the end of that of the series, like they made him like he just had this weird like turn to where,
especially
like,
in season 3, they really
you can like
kind
see they're very much setting up for like
Yeah.
Tywin's. I mean, sorry, not Tywin. Tyrion's revenge. It's like
It's I think it's, I mean, yeah, because in the book he's, especially in like the second book, I mean, this is why I really want to go and read it again, but he's never really likable in the book, like ever.
Yeah.
He's never a likable character in the book. Like all the stuff with Arya in the show, like that is for the show. Like that's not in the book at all, as far as I recall. But it is actually good stuff. I did enjoy that stuff that they did. Those scenes are really good. And yeah, there's they're both their kids are still left, aren't they? Tom and Marcella, they're still alive. So, like for how long? You know, anybody?
Oh god, I mean, I'm so like, I'm probably talking a bunch of shit because like it's been so long since I've even been exposed to any sort of Game of Thrones stuff that I've certainly not. I think I've lost like the thread with the books. Like I can't really remember how that finishes, except for the Jon Snow stuff.
Yeah, I hope he's not gone. I don't. Not so much of the character. I think his character's kind of boring, but I think if he goes, then you lose like your viewpoint character for that, like like you know that part of the world.
Well, I mean, you have Bran and Sam. No, Sam went to that.
Yeah, Sam's not at the war. Although I suppose he could maybe like use Sam when he gets back to the war. But I mean, even so, like you know, if Jon is dead, then you don't have like that viewpoint character at the wall anymore. Although you have Melisandre, I guess she's
she's only had like one chapter though, hasn't she? Or
I don't think she hasn't had many, but she is kind of, she would be at least like a viewpoint character for that part of the world, because she's with Stannis. So, and Stannis is not a viewpoint character, is he? If I remember rightly.
Oh god, I've got no idea. Anyway.
Yeah. Right?
Video games.
What's a video game? Really?
It's a game that you play with a controller.
Shit.
And it's on TV.
I've been doing it wrong.
And they're pretty cool. As much as like depressed as I am at this point about games, they're still pretty cool.
All right. Take your word for it.
And they're pretty rad.
So, what was any other news?
Probably.
Anything else from BlizzCon? Or was it? It was BlizzCon, wasn't it? Yeah. That did actually happen.
Yes, that did indeed happen. BlizzCon was the thing that occurred. There was nothing that interesting from BlizzCon otherwise. I think that wraps up most of the important stuff. Someone will probably tell me wrong, but in my opinion, that was it.
Yeah. The only bit of news I have is that Metal Gear Ground Zeroes has a tentative release date of spring next year, and is like selling for a reduced price. I believe $30 retail and $20 download. It's obviously not full retail price, and it sort of seems like it's like a prologue to Metal Gear 5 Phantom Pain. In Kojima's words, it's to get people used to the new style of gameplay or whatever. I don't know, that seems weird like selling someone what is essentially like a tutorial for the main game. Like, I mean, I guess I'll have to wait until it gets close to release date to see how like substantial it is. Like, if it's like 2 hours long or something, then obviously, it's a bunch of crap. But if it's like an actual decent story length and stuff, that could be interesting. Anything else? Dietide?
Oh yeah, shit.
Do we-
Do we
do
really
we
want to
even-
talk about that? I don't.
Other than to say
Yeah,
that
no.
the majority of Dota 2 fans are scumbags.
Arsehats.
I think the
Yes.
majority of game fans are scumbags, to be blunt. I mean, us three notwithstanding, of course, we're like the
Yes.
upstanding ones. Of
We're the
lot.
biggest arsehots.
we are the example that you
Yes.
should all follow.
Shining knights in white armor.
But yeah, a lot of stuff with regards to games is just annoying, really.
Yeah. I guess in case you didn't know, Dietide is an event that happened last year for Halloween for Dota 2. And for some reason, despite Blizzard never actually announcing that it was happening this year, Dota 2 fans seemed to expect it and got very pissy when it didn't actually happen. This led them to do a bunch of dumb internet stuff like spamming the Volvo Facebook page with dumb give Dietide meme things, and other stupid shit like that, which they should be ashamed of. And then Valve decided, oh, we fucked up, we should apologize, which they really, really shouldn't have, because they basically justified being a piece of shit to get what you want on the internet. Which is like a terrible example to set. It's basically the BioShock ending thing. I'm sorry, not BioShock. What the fuck am I talking about?
I was gonna say, like, what?
Fucking Mass Effect. Sorry, I was just
Right, Mass Effect.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
BioShock's ending. I remember it wasn't that bad.
that was just in my head. Me complaining. No, I had no complaints about the ending. People complaining about the Mass Effect ending and getting it changed, which is a terrible, terrible thing. I'm like flabbergasted that they would be so bothered about a thing that happens for one day and is a dumb like holiday event. It's like crying because your favorite TV show didn't get a Christmas special or something. It's really, really terrible. And yeah, Valve made it even worse by legitimizing it and apologizing and saying, oh yeah, we'll give it to you. I mean, their reasoning was basically that they were doing a massive update to make the game better, the thing that the people actually care about. That's why there was no dumb holiday event. But that's the internet for you. Just when you thought maybe people
It's
were growing up.
Full of dickheads. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse,
Yeah, maybe that's a better word.
it
Can't it?
surprises you every single time.
Yep.
And it's not the good kind of surprise.
No.
Can you guys ever? And here's an interesting question. Can you guys ever think of like something good that has come of like, I don't want to say a forum, but like the power of the internet being used for good, let's say. Maybe that's a better way to say it.
I mean, it's definitely happened. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but it's definitely occurred. I think the thing is, it'll happen in like smaller communities because there's less dicks. Like as soon as you're talking about like a
True, yeah, that's a
Dota 2
good
size
point.
community where it's like millions of people, you're talking
Yeah.
about there potentially being millions of just idiots. I mean, like I've seen like some pretty heartwarming stuff on Giant Bomb just in the forums, because that's a community of like maybe 10,000 reasonably dedicated people.
Sensible human beings occasionally.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I think the Giant Bomb community is fucking terrible. For like the majority, like the vast majority of people on that site are your typical forum twat.
I don't know. I'd
For
I
every
think
one,
I think the ratio is slightly better.
yeah.
maybe, but like for every one post you see that's like decent, there's a lot that aren't. I mean,
I don't know. I still think it's by far the best community. Well, maybe not by far, because
I think it depends on the scope of the community. I mean, like
Yeah.
when you have a site as big as Giant Bomb, you can't expect.
I mean, Giant Bomb's fairly small compared to other like.
Oh, yeah, it
like,
is, but I
compared to
mean,
somewhere like GameSpot.
Yeah, definitely, but like.
I mean, you like a community coming together and doing something nice, like Extra Life, just this past weekend.
yeah,
like
that
the
is
Giant Bomb team like raised like $100,000 or something. And like GameSpot, who are obviously a much bigger site, only raised like 20,000. Like, I mean, obviously $20,000 charity, still $20,000 charity.
Yeah,
still
they're
the
definitely
thing,
like a
but
lot more dedicated people.
I think that proves that it's like the size of the community doesn't like not all communities are dicks. Basically, you can like have a huge community that is far worse than a smaller community.
I think that's often the case. I mean, I'm still on a couple of older forums that have literally probably got like 100 people on them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the Ninja Gaiden forum is one of them, and like we've all been on like that sort of group for like 9 years now, and there's literally about 100 of us like on that forum, and that is obviously a completely different forum to something like Giant Bomb. But obviously, you know, the bigger you get, the more, you know.
Yeah, I mean the bigger
riff-raff you
the bigger you get, like the more dicks you get, and the more people who are sensitive to those sort of dicks you also get. So it's like the people in the middle who sort of don't care about the trolls, like are just sort of drowned out by the arguments between the people who are like super like
I wish everybody
by
could just like ignore
like,
trolls. Like you know when you see like, I mean, even if it's sometimes a comment that's just flat out wrong and dumb, like just don't. Like, you know, the people, like, you know, the incessant forum poster that's like, you know, that feels the need to quote every single thing that is not correct and then correct them. It's like, dude, just don't even bother, because you're talking to a brick wall. Like, just, you know, you're wasting your time.
Well, yeah, you're wasting everybody's time.
Basically. Yeah, you know, and it's like, if everybody could just do that, like, just pay no attention to the silly people, then the internet would be a much nicer place.
Oh man. So yeah, Dota 2 people, they sort of suck. Or some of them do.
Is there like, can you think? Brad, you might be able to answer this one. The StarCraft community, what are they like? Like,
I mean, I don't go much on the sites like Team Liquid and shit.
Oh, okay. I can say, are they cool or?
Depends what your definition of cool is.
Well, I mean, like, you know, the typical. Like, I mean,
there are a lot of people who bitch and whinge about balance and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because
that's a big issue about people, you know, getting beaten by one thing on ladder a couple of times and then crying at Blizzard because XYZ is Imber. But a lot of that just turns into self-referential humor. Like, people have gotten to the point where complaining about balance is a joke, not something to be taken seriously, because most people acknowledge that the game is at least in a vague sense of balance at the moment. Like, it's not as good as Brood War was, but it's at a point where it can be considered acceptable. And if there were serious problems, I think people expect Blizzard to be sitting on their arse about anything. The kind of people you see at like live streams and stuff are generally okay. There are a lot of bad like memes and stuff that go around that aren't particularly funny.
I think that's
quite a lot of the
course with like
quite a lot of the signs and stuff that people hold up in the crowd are amusing enough. Twitch chat gets a bit dodgy, but that's just Twitch, to be honest.
Yeah, stream chats are. God, I hate stream chats.
Oh man, that just reminds me. Did anyone watch Patrick's TEDx speech like a month ago?
I heard about it. I wish I could watch it with the comments.
Oh my god.
No, I didn't.
That live chat was some of the worst.
Yeah, but they were proving his point. It was
yeah,
like,
exactly. That was
what was the story?
Well, his speech was about like how internet discourse is complete shit and sort of what can we do to like change that. And like the chat was just full of like just I assume most of them were like from 4chan or something, just complete scumbags. Like,
I think 4chan, there was a...
they sort of targeted his. It was. I mean, like some of the stuff, like I can't even bring myself to repeat because it was genuinely like upsetting to me. Yeah, those people are just some of the worst.
Do you guys
people
think you
alive.
can do anything about it though? Really? I mean, as long as you have that like anonymity, it's like
Yeah, I mean, I guess
that in essence is the problem, isn't it? I mean, it's
I mean, to a point, but I mean, like, Patrick sort of expounded on that in his speech and like talked about some sites that have started using like Facebook comments where it's showing your picture and your
and people are
full
just
name.
as bad.
Yeah, that's
people
true.
are
Actually, every
just
time
as
I see a
bad, like-
Facebook comment section on a site, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I think in a way that's even worse because then it's like you do realize people can now like see
Yeah,
how much.
well, I mean, I think that just shows people past the point of caring about like what people think about them on the internet, like as if it's like a different place where like
Yeah, maybe you're right. It's like like the internet is the internet. It doesn't actually count. Like you can just say whatever you want.
It's funny actually because I've noticed like people don't talk about what people say on the internet. Like I'll see a friend post something like sort of weirdly offensive that I know for a fact that like everyone on Facebook has seen, and like it's never like ever brought up. Like no one ever talks about what you post on Facebook or what you post on Twitter, like, or very rarely it seems. I don't know. It's a weird like. I don't know why that attitude exists that like what you put on Facebook and Twitter doesn't really count in real life.
Yeah, I mean, like that's one of the. I mean, there's many reasons why I stay away from like social media stuff, but that is definitely one of them. It's like people can just seemingly be like they have two completely different personalities. Like they have their they have like their personality when they are in person with you, and they have like their online personality.
Yeah, definitely. I know people who, yes, are very much like that. I mean, the thing Patrick does on Tumblr is actually really interesting. So Tumblr is pretty much now a question asking service for the people on Giant Bomb. And Patrick addresses a lot of those questions, and a lot of them are just anonymous, like trolls, basically. But he like answers them like sincerely, and it's actually like he's saying like he actually got like an apology off someone, like an anonymous person who was like, oh, I'm really sorry I posted this bullshit, because he just answered their question like really sincerely, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, like he still gets people occasionally like sending him bullshit, but like I don't know. I think it's maybe lessened like as he's just started answering them instead of like ignoring them. I think like if you see someone ignore something, it's like, oh yeah, got to them, I'll just do it again. Like, or if they respond like, oh fuck you.
No, I think it is responding. Like, I think when you do ignore them completely, they get bored. Yeah. They do.
Or if you ignore the trolling part of what they're posting and try and address like their subject, then they're like, wait, what? I wasn't actually being serious, and then they don't know what to do, which is funny.
Yeah, there's that, but again, I don't bother.
I guess.
Yeah, like it's like that's one thing that is great about like YouTube and stuff. Like it's so easy to just like if you see just a douchebag comment, like you just click on their profile and block them. It's like if I keep doing that forever, eventually I will have blocked every moron, and like that is my mission. So like, that's all you can do, I guess.
I don't know if there's any more news really. PS4 comes out this week.
Though, wasn't there like an Xbox One leak? Like someone got one early.
Oh,
do you want to talk about that or?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Brad probably knows more about this, maybe.
Yeah, so Target in America accidentally sent out a batch of Xbox Ones to people. I think it was Target, right? Yeah, I think it was Target. They mistakenly sent out a bunch of Xbox Ones to people. One dude who got his basically renamed his Twitter account #1 source for Xbox One, and then proceeded to tweet every 5 seconds everything he saw on the Xbox One. Like, he was just literally, there was a period of time where for about an hour he tweeted the size of every single download on the Xbox One store, including shit like Zumba Fitness, which is 14 gig in case you care.
I do not.
Yeah, most of the file sizes, like, so FIFA was 8 gig, and actually the smallest game on the Xbox Store at the moment, and the largest game was somewhere in the region of 50 gig, but I can't remember what it was now off the top of my head. Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, so he went on, he was posting pictures. He did upload a video, obviously, of him using the Xbox dashboard. He uploaded the fact that he was, connected online, could do pretty much anything he wanted. You can go scrape his Twitter account if you want to find out more info about that. But the next thing he tweeted, my Xbox has been banned.
Oh dear.
Please comment, Microsoft. And then I'm not sure if it was Major Nelson or the other guy tweeted at him and said, because they didn't ban his Xbox Live account, it's just his console. Like, he can get online on Xbox 360, just not on his Xbox One. And then I think it was Major Nelson, but I could be wrong. It could be someone else from Microsoft.
Major Nelson.
Yeah, tweeted at him and said, could you DM me? We'd like to get in contact with you to find out how you ended up with an Xbox. And that was all it said.
Yeah.
I guess the silver lining, if all that online stuff is working now, then it might not be broken for launch.
The most interesting thing is the dude was super positive about it. Like, he, even when they banned his console, he was like, he responded to all the people being like, "Oh my god, Microsoft's so bad. Now I not buy Xbox." He was just like, "Yo, the Xbox One's really good. Please don't not buy the console based on Microsoft banning my console. Like, the time I had it with it was great, and I'm looking forward to using it on release." So he liked it.
Yeah.
And
like, also, like, Major Nelson did like a massive PR recovery and said like, yeah, you're not banned anymore. And did something else for him, like free games or something.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, it was something like Major Nelson recovered the situation well for Microsoft. So yeah, that dude. I mean, that he didn't do anything wrong. Like, he got his game shipped to him early. Like, it wasn't his.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault.
So
yeah, but I mean, technically, he is breaking the ELUA by showing that stuff.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, that sort of stuff is always.
And Microsoft technically have the right to shit on anyone if you do something they don't like. Like, that's why no one reads these. Not to go all conspiracy theory, but no one reads, license agreements, and that's kind of the stuff that they put in there. It's the same reason when Battlefield 4 got shipped early, Twitch were having to yank down any Twitch channel that streamed any Battlefield 4 before release day, because the EA can do that if they want. They can ban you if you play it early.
I think, if that happened, like, I don't have a console pre-order, but like, if I had one pre-ordered and like tomorrow my PS4 turned up, I wouldn't tell anybody. I'd just use it myself. Like, I mean, I'm not sure how much I'd actually be able to do, but like, if like getting it online pretty much lets them know you have it, then you're kind of fucked. But maybe like the newer consoles are a bad example because they are so kind of online dependent. But like, like to use a kind of better example would be like the 360 or PS3. Like, if I had one of those like a fortnight early, I wouldn't tell anybody. I'd just use it, and I would take joy in like, yeah, no one else is using this but me. That's cool. If you like put videos up on the internet of you using it, it's like you can't complain if people are like,
I mean, like, also, like, can you blame someone for like?
Oh no.
Like, the amount of like attention he's gonna get for having an Xbox One early is just. This is his chance to get.
I mean, I don't know if you guys remember it. Do you guys remember when the 360 was like, it wasn't out, but I think wasn't too long away from its launch. Like, some kid, like his dad was like doing some sort of like electrical testing on it, and he put up like pictures of it and stuff.
Oh yeah,
do you guys remember that?
Yeah,
and like that kind of exploded.
I remember GameSpot's old podcast, The Hotspot, talking about that. That was pretty hilarious. All I remember from that whole thing is them saying that the kid needs to get a haircut, which I
don't remember the
and also like that the kid's dad probably being fired. Like, yeah, imagine like being that kid, like how like badly you would be punished for doing that. Like that would be pretty insane. Because you're potentially costing one of your parents their job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to follow up, the guy got invited to the Xbox One launch event, I believe, by Major Nelson. After like this whole thing, as a sort of apology for being banned off from Xbox Live or whatever.
Oh, speaking of
Weird.
And you can still apparently use the Xbox One offline.
all right.
So
That
they
is
haven't came to his house and taken it off him or something.
yeah.
Fuck you.
Did you guys see? It should remind me. Did you guys see the teardown of the PS4?
Yes,
Oh.
I did.
I saw bits of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
I watched it. It wasn't. I think it wasn't that long. That was kind of cool to see, even though it wasn't really like it didn't really.
At least I know how to take that thing apart now.
Yeah, like
when it breaks.
it seems like it sounds weird, but like it seems really simply put together. You know, I mean, I've taken apart a couple of consoles before, like mainly ones that break. You know, I always take them apart. I usually do that with anything that breaks. Really, first thing I do is take it to pieces. And like most things like that are just ridiculous to get apart. Like they are absolutely insane to like taking apart a 360 is a fucking nightmare. Like
you only have to apply a bit of force.
what, on the older ones?
Yeah.
I guess.
The other ones
but,
just jam a fucking screwdriver in there and wiggle it around until something snaps, and then it will come
yeah, exactly. But like, yeah, jamming a screwdriver in something until something snaps is not really, you know, a good way to
technical process.
But yeah, like when he was taking apart the PS4, I mean, like the video is like heavily edited, but it seemed like, wow, that thing is like a sandwich. It's like it's got like layers. It's like you just take out this screw and it's like this gets you this and this gets you this. Like it seemed really straightforward to take apart, and you know, usually they design those things like fucking vaults. Like you know you are not supposed to get in them without damaging something. And if you do damage something, you know you're not supposed to do it anyway, so you void your warranty. So
yeah, I mean, I think the guy doing it didn't mention like there's some seal or something that you're not supposed to.
There always is. I think they usually always put it over one of the screws. So it's like if you like, the only way to get to that screw is to take off that sticker, or like you know put a screwdriver through the sticker, and then they know you've at least done that. So with your warranty. But yeah, like it was a cool video. It looked like unless there is like a kind of an access point on the outside of the case, it looks like taking the hard drive out is a bit more of an ordeal than the PS3.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It seemed like the hard drive was inside the like inside the sealed part. Like you'd have to break the seal.
Yeah,
to
it didn't look like there was It didn't look like there was like an access point like there is on the PS3. I mean, like, the PS3 is pretty awesome for that.
It might have just been that the seal was just for the other side, because it seemed like the hard drive, like it's split into the top half and the bottom half because of the way it's shaped. So
yeah, true. But I think I don't know. Like I'm thinking, seeing as like I know for certain that's doable now. Like I might just put a terabyte in that thing as soon as I get one, because I think 500 gigs. I think with like downloads and stuff is going to fill up faster than you might think.
Yeah, and you don't want to have to faff around and copy it back and forth.
Like, I mean, you'd fill up a terabyte eventually, but you know, you're putting off that problem for quite a while if you put a terabyte in there like right off the bat. And like I was looking up hard drives for that, like terabyte, like on that format, are surprisingly cheap.
Yeah, does it have to be 5400 RPM?
I'm not sure about that because I was looking at the.
I hope it doesn't, because it'd be nice to get a 7200.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to get 7200 RPM. I'm not sure. What does it ship with? Is it
5400? Yeah. Then they said it has to. They implied it has to match.
Yeah,
because
I know.
I don't know if they're just lying.
I know you can't do that on the PS3, can you? You can't put a faster hard drive in it. Like,
then it's probably the same then.
Yeah, because I feel like the games just don't recognize it. Like the games are all like coded or something for that speed, and if you put a faster one in there, like as far as the games are concerned, there's no hard drive in the system. But yeah, if you could put, because I think that there might have been some comments on the article about that, because someone mentioned like putting an SSD in it. It's like, yeah, it's possible, but if the system isn't actually set up to support the SSD, like it either won't work or it won't be any quicker, so you won't notice the difference.
Is that it for news? Anyone?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. It's been surprisingly quiet considering how close we are to release days for the Xbox One and the PS4. I mean, there was that Adam Sessler stuff, which was really dumb.
I didn't really get the full gist of that.
Jim Sterling did a pretty good video about it on The Escapist last week, I believe.
I did watch that video, but I didn't.
Yeah, Jim Sterling is I know that guy gets a lot of flack, but I quite like him.
He is kind of annoying. I mean,
I don't know. I like him in this sort of Charlie Brooker sort of way. I don't know. For some reason, he has that same sort of appeal. Yeah, that was really dumb. Adam Sessler getting worked up about seemingly nothing, and then like shutting up about it.
I'm trying to remember who Adam Sessler is. I know his name, but I can't think of like his. I can't put face to him.
Weird voice and like a ginger beard. You'll probably know him when you see him.
Is he
used to work for G4. And
that was it. Yeah, he gets like. I mean, the only thing the thing I hear about him most is like him getting really bent out of shape over like pretty much anything. Like that's the only time I really hear about him. Is like, oh, you know, he was outraged at this, or you know, or something. So
yeah,
he likes to get outraged.
Yeah, and then the other, I guess, next gen drama was the whole resolution thing. Like the Xbox One can only do 720p, whereas the PS4 can apparently do 1080p.
I didn't actually know that.
But this is yet to be completely confirmed. I think.
Do they mean native? Or?
Yeah, I believe native. Like obviously it'll upscale.
Yeah, because the 360 has got that, hasn't it?
Yeah,
like, 360 just like it's got a built-in upscale. It just it's out whatever.
Yeah, but I believe both the 360 and the PS3 were 720p native and both upscaled, and now the PS4 is doing 1080p, but apparently the Xbox One isn't. I don't know.
I think that'll be a bigger deal. I mean, if these consoles have like the similar sort of life cycle in 10 years' time, it's not absurd to think that like, you know, like plus 1080p TVs will be a lot more common.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So like, you know, by that point it might be a big deal. Like,
yeah.
You know, if it gets to the point where like a 4K TV is, you know, not.
Oh, I think certainly in 10 years.
Yeah,
like
in 10
4K.
years, yeah, like that's going to be.
But like, I don't know if this console cycle is going to be as long as the last one.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Like, I wonder if it will be, because in a lot of ways, like.
I mean, the reason this one was so extended, I think, was because of the Kinect and the Move. Like. PS4, Sony and Microsoft betting on those being successful things. So they're like, well, what's the point in bringing out a console when we've just brought out this sort of extension to the current hardware? And obviously, like, Kinect maybe was a lot more successful than the Move. But, you know, it's still delayed the next generation, essentially.
I think as well, like, I think a lot of the, like, one main reason for the extended life is, like, they're just far more capable. Like the systems can do a lot, and I mean they are kind of, you know, definitely stretched out now, but you know they can do a lot more with them than, like, you know, by comparison the PS2 and Xbox. Like there's no conceivable way you could have extended like the PS2's life cycle by like another 5 years as a dominant platform. Just, you know, there wasn't enough in the system at that point, whereas in these ones there is.
Yeah.
I hope the next cycle is shorter though. I don't think in a lot of ways, I think like this length of cycle has not been for the better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, certainly myself and, I mean, Joe, you've mentioned it, having, like, sort of apathy towards games at certain points where it's just like...
It's been really bad this year. Like, this year has been... It's, like, I'm at the point where I'm kind of just going back to, like, quite old stuff. But I was playing a lot of Resident Evil 4 today. I was just, like, fired that up and was just playing it, and it just had that, like, replayability that just most games just don't have anymore. And at a point I'm like, is this just me being, like, old and stubborn? Like, you know, is this me just having played games for a very, very long time and having, like, a certain nostalgia for certain games where I can just play them forever? But, you know, or is it the actual fact that games are getting, you know, less and less and less replayable? You know, like, I question whether, you know, that these older games are, like, really, really replayable and really that good, or whether they're just the games that, you know, I played where I had the time to put in so much time to games where I can just kind of go back to them, and it's not really like playing the game. It's just, I don't really have to put a lot of thought into them.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe, but, like, you know, like Resident Evil 4, like Ninja Gaiden, like those, I mean, those two games in particular more than any are games like that for me. I don't really have to think to play those games. And I mean, like, I don't have to think to play newer games, because newer games are just so, like, they are so much more simplified than most older ones, and which isn't, you know, by and large a bad thing, but, like, that is the reason why I don't really find myself going back to many games from this gen. It's like, because I don't feel there's stuff to kind of mine. Like, you know, those games are what they are for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it came with games being, well, some amount of games being a lot more focused and linear and shorter. It's like when you play a Call of Duty game, like the first time through, you've pretty much seen all there is to see.
Yeah, like, there's not really much reason to go back. Like, I mean, like, use an example. I was playing RE4 today, and I just did, like, I was playing, like, a specific set of weapons run, like, for the whole game. I was like, I'll just use, like, this pistol, I'll use this shotgun, and et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, it's weird. Like, I do question myself sometimes. I'm like, you know, am I getting to the point where, like, I'm just not going to enjoy, like, new games because they're not like the games I grew up playing? I hope not.
Yeah, that's.
I like games, I really do. But, like, newer games especially are, like, you know, like, the thing with Batman, like, is why, like, I don't know, like, this weekend maybe I'm more negative than usual. Like, usually I would have done anything to make a brand new game purchase work.
Yeah.
Like, whereas when this didn't work, I just thought, fuck it. Like, Like, it's virtually going to be the same as the other two, which are really, really good, but I can just go and play those other two games.
Do you think that's to do with, like, scarcity of money when you were buying games when you were younger, or, like...
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, like, now that I'm older and, you know, in a relatively well-paid job.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, we got, like, our kind of, like, bonus structure for this, like, area of the year, and, like, I could quite easily buy both next-gen systems when they come out. I just have no desire to, like, 'cause, and like, that's the thing where I think it's not me getting old and, you know, bitter. Like, when the PS2 was coming out, you know, every single game I saw, I was like, holy fucking shit, I need to play that. Like, when the 360 and PS3 came out, like, when I saw Gears of War showed for the first time, I was like, there's a fucking machine gun with a chainsaw on it. I need to play that game. You know, like, there was, like, the new Halo, like, when I saw Halo 3 showed for the first time, it's, you know, like, there were games that when I saw them, like, I would just see them being played. Like, Dead Rising was one of them. I was like, I need to play that. Like, it's so different. Whereas now, it's like, you know, there's a new Killzone, there's a new Dead Rising. I mean, it's like the same franchises from last gen that are, like, in a lot of ways, that, like, the built heavy hitters for the new systems. It's like, you know, like, Halo 5 is obviously going to be, you know, billed as, you know, a big thing when it's finally kind of revealed and showed. and I've been playing Halo for like 13 years. It's weird. Like it's something that I struggle to like identify whether it is just me or whether it is games getting like more and more made for people that aren't like me. It's like it's the main thing that's got me really back into fighting games over the past couple of years. It's like they are the one type of game that no matter what, if you put in enough time, you can get that sense of like competition from them because it's the player you're playing. It's more of a mind game rather than the game itself. But I wonder how long that will last. Like, I don't know.
It's
weird.
I kind of want a PS4. I've been having this internal monologue with myself recently because I was meant to. I had in my head planned to go to DreamHack this month, and then that fell through. So that was like 300 quid that I'd put aside for that trip. And now I'm like, well, shit, I want to spend 300 quid. So I was like, maybe I should get this PS4 thing. And like, there is no legitimate reason for me to get a PS4. One, I'm planning on upgrading my PC in the summer. Two, I don't care for any of the launch games. And three, no one else I know is getting a PS4 at launch. But I kind of just want to go to the midnight launch for the sake of going to the midnight launch. And, just the hype of it is keeping me vaguely interested. I think the thing that's going to kill this for me is the fact that it's probably going to be impossible to get a hold of a PS4 on launch.
Yeah, totally.
Can you still? I think you can still pre-order them, can't you?
Yeah, you'll get it before Christmas though, not.
Oh right, not guaranteed for launch day.
I mean, I'm gonna double check. I think Game are doing like Q&A sessions if you go in there from Monday. So I might go down to my nearest Game and be like, are you going to have any of these on launch or are they all pre-ordered? And if they say yes, they're doing a thing where you can pay for it the day before the midnight launch or the day or two before the midnight launch.
Pay for it in full?
Yeah, and then you just go along, hand over a ticket and they give you the console and then you leave.
Yeah, I mean...
Whoa, we have...
What?
Bradley's caught in a hurricane.
I really shouldn't be. I'm gonna have to listen to it because I have no idea what it is. My headset's been working fine before this call.
There we are. It's gone now.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
You said your head's... Yeah, we did.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
I definitely feel the hype. I mean, like, I still love games, and I definitely feel the hype of like, I do kind of want. I want the box. I want to open the box and feel plastic and be like, this is fucking new. Like I had that same thing when I got my Vita. Like when I got my Vita out of the box, I was like, this is shiny and new, and this is awesome.
I want to rub my face all over it. And
like I want to kiss
I'll
it.
plug it in and I'll boot it up and I'll be like, oh my god, these menus are so menu-y, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm done.
And then you go into like the system and be like, oh, this is where you find the hard drive and.
Yeah, I want to do all of that. And then I want to live stream from it, and then I want to play Warframe.
And then there'll be no games on it.
And there are no games. I'm genuinely considering buying If I buy one, I will buy Killzone. That's how desperate I am. Because I've never played a Killzone game, and it looks shiny. That's the only reason I'd get it. And I want a multiplayer shooter.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see how shooters are on the PS4.
I don't want a multiplayer shooter. I just want to play Killzone because it's pretty.
Yeah,
that's the main reason.
So I've got a PS4 pre-ordered on Amazon, but that can be cancelled at any time.
Is it on PS4?
No, like I won't get it before.
It's not a day one.
No. So like I'm just gonna see what happens basically. Like I'll just have that pre-order there just as a backup option.
Yeah.
And if one turns up at somewhere weird, like. What I'm expecting is that like somewhere like
up at your house, you're just like, well, I better keep this thing.
if I see one at like a Sainsbury's or something, like
the impulse buy will get me. I'm
one in stock. I'll buy one.
I think once launch day has passed, I won't give a fuck anymore. I just kind of want to be there on launch day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want that midnight launch feeling.
I kind of want I want to have one, but I don't really.
I'm trying to look at spending my money on more stupid things just to stop me from buying a PS4 because there's no reason to get one.
I've been gone through my budget.
I'm like looking at Lego. I'm like at the moment I'm looking at like painted Warhammer models. Like I am that desperate to burn this money so that I can't buy a PS4.
Yeah.
And as well, let's be serious as well for a minute here. They're not gonna fucking last. They're gonna break just in time for the slim versions to come out. So you know,
it would be nice. That's the other thing I'm thinking about. It would be nice this time around to wait for the second revision.
Yeah, I've been saying that for like.
I would love I want the slim one, which is quieter and has a bigger hard drive for less money, please.
I would really like to wait for that. Like,
if I can survive till my PC upgrade, I will easily make it to the slim version.
Yeah, I've still got a fat 80 gig PS3, which hasn't died at all.
That's not a launch system, though, is it? Because the launches were 40.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I think I got it like 2008, so a couple of years after launch.
Yeah. I would really like a fat one, and I rang up. When was it? It wasn't that long ago. I rang up Sony support for like the refurbished PS3s. Like they don't do them anymore. Like they send you like a new PS3, like a fat one, I think, but like it's not. You can't put your old hard drive in it. It won't work. Which I'm really actually kind of pissed off about now because there's some pretty important save data on that first hard drive.
Yeah.
that I now cannot get. Like all my like original Ninja Gaiden Sigma world records are on that hard drive, and like I now can't use them, which I'm kind of pissed off about. But hey, what do you do? But yeah. What's this?
They've got matching
terrible ways of spending money.
They've got matching paint jobs. If I get one, I can't not get the other one. Like seriously.
Well, I like how he puts well painted in the name of it. Like,
I think
he's not the one to judge.
Yeah, like why
a reseller?
Why wouldn't you just paint them yourself? Like that's
because I have no artistic talent.
You know, that was always something that was really funny. I cannot draw a stick man like better than a 5-year-old. Yeah, I was ridiculously fucking good at painting Warhammer models. My Warhammer models were fucking bitching.
Did they look as good as that?
I've closed the window. Hang on. Well, I didn't have that kind of. What's that from? I'm really behind on Warhammer shit.
It's Warhammer 40k.
I never had anything 40k, and those pictures aren't really. You can't really see the detail.
Look at the second picture.
Yeah, the second picture you can. Yeah, mine were definitely on par with that. Like I was.
Jeez.
It kind of pissed me off when I started collecting Warhammer because I was like. My first lot, I was like, these are a lot better than I thought they would turn out. And like the more and more I collected, and the better I got at painting them, I was like, why can't I fucking draw?
That was all you thought about.
That was all I thought of. I was like, why can't I draw anything? This is not fair. Because like, I that was one of the things as a kid. Like I really used to wish that I could draw well, and I couldn't. Like I cannot draw to save my life. So being able to paint Warhammer really cool was like, my, quote unquote artistic endeavor. I used to really like painting that stuff. I used to just buy models for the sake of painting them. I was like, that looks like a cool model. I want to buy it. I'm going to paint that just for the sake of it.
That's cool. I wish I could paint. Like that's the only thing. Like if I could paint, I'd buy Warhammer because I reckon I could stick them together pretty well. I think I've got that much dexterity.
Yeah,
I get past that point, I'll just have a bunch of grey things.
Oh man,
like shit.
That's that card's too much.
That's from the UK edition of Cards Against Humanity.
That card is too much.
That's pretty awful.
That seems like a better way to spend 20 quid.
Mm.
Yeah, I think you're gonna ask for Cards Against Humanity for Christmas or something. Now that it's actually being sold in the UK.
Yeah, I was. That's why I posted that. I totally didn't know that was out over here now.
Yeah.
I got an email.
Man, that's an awesome Lego set. I want that.
The email opened with the line "Hello, chavs."
Yeah. I like the Amazon description's pretty good. It's like modified for your outmoded culture or something. Pretty good.
I want to buy some Lego. I want to get like a really huge Lego set.
I was over at a friend's
So how
house
much
and
money are you talking, Joe?
I don't know, like, but I miss it's weird. I miss building stuff. Like when you're a kid,
Yeah.
like Lego, Connects, Meccano. Like I used to really like building stuff as a kid,
Mhm.
and like I want to, I want something ridiculous, like minimum like thousands of pieces, like
Yeah.
minimum. Like it has to be like 5,000 pieces minimum.
I don't think they do.
I want
say that.
something fucking insane, like to build.
yeah, I was over at a friend's house recently, and he had like a God, what are the towers called in Lord of the Rings?
Joe, I think I found your set. Oh yeah, I've seen the set.
Isengard and well,
Isengard, yeah.
there's Isengard and there's
I found your set, Joe.
Helm's Deep.
Check that out.
Yeah, it was I think it was Isengard. A friend had a Lego model of Isengard, and I think I offended him because he was like, I was like, oh, how much did that cost? He was like 200 quid. I was like, you spent 200 quid on that, and I think he took offense.
I can like.
He's like, oh, but it's really detailed, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, what Brad's just sent me, this Sydney Opera House for 250 quid. That looks kind of naff.
Yeah.
Like that looks pretty shit for 250 quid.
And your other option, if you want, these are the two largest Lego sets available.
Like,
There's the
yeah.
Sydney Opera House, which looks like shit, and Tower Bridge, which also looks pretty shit.
That
How
looks better.
big is
I mean,
that?
that looks.
It looks better, but I don't like the base plates. The base plates are like
Yeah,
the
they
blue
look kinda
water
shit.
is really shitty.
And you could do a lot more with 200 quid.
I think that is a meter long and half a meter high.
And that's not that big. I mean,
Yeah. That house I sent you
static
is
back.
half the price. And what? Are you sure it's me?
I
Yeah.
don't know who it is. I mean,
Well, I mean, me and Joe can both hear it, and you can't. So,
yeah, by process of elimination.
it's gone.
It's gone
now.
now.
I muted
And
my
it's
mic.
back.
Did
It's
it-
gone. It's back. Yeah,
It's gone.
gone.
It's
back.
Fuck, if my headset's broken, that really sucks.
Have you, just now, are you turning it off or are you unplugging it and plug it back in?
I'm pressing the mute button on the headset.
All right, okay. Try unplugging it, and I mean that usually solves everything.
Okay.
Yep.
Like I'm looking. Is it doing it now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at the volume mixer in Windows, and there is no volume on my headset other than me talking.
Is it USB or is it in
Yeah, it's
the?
USB.
That's weird. Like I expect that sort of like when a mic gets like barred on like a headphone jack, but not like a
Anything?
USB.
No. no.
Nope.
Okay, I unplugged it and plugged it back in. I'll see if that helps.
There's like
USB
slight-
headsets are so much better though. Like this, I remember.
Yeah, because you don't get the noise from the interference
Yeah,
from your
I
system.
was doing I was checking out one of my older videos the other day actually, like commentary stuff, because I was trying to think of an idea for a series that I wanted to do, and it had like the old commentary track from when I used the jack microphone. God, it's fucking awful. Like quality is so bad. What's this?
Oh god, Brad is just posting terrible Cards Against Humanity. The thing about getting Cards Against Humanity is like I don't know anyone cool enough to play it with.
Oh, I'd be.
Oh.
I don't know if this says more about me than I wish, but I think I'd be really good at that game.
Yeah.
Like I've got I don't know, I can maybe play it with my sisters, but I don't know anyone else who'd.
Yeah, I can't.
for that.
I don't know where you'd find enough.
I'd maybe be able to play it with my stepdad. He wouldn't be, but then he might not get it. I don't know.
John, when you read the adapted from the American edition to suit your outmoded culture bit,
Yeah,
you see that 0% of proceeds will go to children in need.
yeah, that was pretty good.
Jesus.
Cards Against Humanity is pretty special.
What do you guys think's the best board game?
I
Haven't played
don't
it
like
enough.
Monopoly.
I don't
You
like.
Fucking suck.
It never finishes. I don't think I've ever finished a game of Monopoly.
But it's not a game you're supposed to finish. It's a game to. It's like that game. It's like I don't know. It's not about the game. It's about the people you play it with, because it just turns everyone into a complete arsehole. That's
know.
why you play Monopoly.
I'm trying to think of other stuff I've played.
I love Monopoly for that reason. I played Monopoly with my girlfriend once, and I actually made her cry because I didn't realize like how much of a dick that game turned me into, and I was like, oh wow, like because the only other person I used to really play it with like a lot was my brother when we were kids, and you know how that's gonna go. And I was kind of exactly the same when I played it with her. I was like, oh sorry,
Jeez.
I didn't know I was this much of a twat when I played this game.
Yeah. I mean,
pretty bad.
last year I went on like a board game binge and got really interested in like there are a bunch of board games I would love to play and I will never get the chance to just because I don't have anyone to play them with.
Yeah.
It really sucks. Like last year I bought what's it called, Carcassonne, the tile-based game. That game's really cool because it only takes about half an hour to play a game and you can play it with 2 people. It's actually better with 2 people than with more. So that's a game you can actually legitimately play with, someone. I really want to play Settlers of Catan. I've never had the chance to play that, but I've heard it's really awesome. There's a bunch of like space, like 4X type board games I'd like to play. I think Norm tweeted recently he was playing. Oh God, what's it called? Shit, I can't remember. Hold on, let me look on his.
I want to play some Cranium. Do you remember Cranium?
I remember.
That rings a bell, yeah. But
that was like the one where it was like it was sort of like Pictionary, except there was more like there was a round where you'd have to make stuff out of plasticine. It was basically it just expanded Pictionary into a bunch of other ways of trying to give your teammates clues, and it seemed really interesting. It's just not having anyone to play it with.
That image I just posted was from Starfleet, one of the space games I was talking about. I'm just looking up. I also really want to play a deck building game. Have you ever heard of those?
No.
Yeah.
It's like a card game, but not a collectible card game. Basically, all the cards come in the box, and then you just have to create, a deck from the game. I think the most popular one is called Dominion. Have you heard of it?
That sort of rings a bell.
Yeah, I really want to play Dominion. Apparently, Dominion's amazing.
I sort of want to play D&D at some point, but
yeah, that's not going to happen.
yeah.
Did you guys ever play Warhammer? Like, did you ever play the game?
I went to a club once, and I don't own any Warhammer, so
I had friends who were pretty into it, but
I never got crazy into it, but I did play it a little bit.
It seemed like no one actually knew how to play it.
Yeah, no one does. Have you seen the fucking rulebook for that thing?
When I was Googling about Warhammer, I stumbled upon a wiki, and I couldn't understand what it was saying about the piece I was looking at.
It was like, it seems like ridiculously complicated.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like if they actually made it simpler, like it would actually be a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing as D&D, where there's so many rules, but like people just play it their own way and have more fun with it.
Yeah.
And like even like a Monopoly ends up having there's like loads of times where I've played with people and they've just got different rules.
Oh yeah. I always had one of the rules I always used to have was free parking.
Yeah.
I can't remember who first thought of it. Me and my brother used to always play like house rule if ever like friends were over. Every single fine that any person paid, like, went into the middle of the board, and then whoever landed on free parking got the money in the middle.
Yeah, we played that as well.
Like that's a really good one.
And we had if you land on the go place, you get like double. You get like 400 instead of 200.
Yeah, we had that one too.
Yeah.
I think actually that might be in the rule book. I think that is actually a rule that it's just one of those rules that like nobody really knows.
There's loads of times when you'll play with someone and be like, all right, okay, I get 400, and they're like, what? No, you
it's like that was always a thing when like I mean a different kind of board game per se, but it used to really piss me off when I still like playing it, but I haven't played it in years really. Is chess, and like whenever I used to play that in school. Like, people would always have, like, their own bullshit rules. And I was like,
how can you have bullshit rules for chess? It's because fucking chess.
Yeah, I know. Like, that used to piss me off because, like, I really like chess. And, like, people would have all these dumb rules. I'm like, that's not a fucking rule. Like, fuck off. Like, there was one in particular that really used to annoy me. My brother always used to try to use it on me. Was pawns can't take on their first move. And he always used to do these like bullshit stuff where it's like, oh, you can't do that. And I remember like going to my library at school and getting a fucking chess rule book and being like, fuck you, that is not a rule. Like, that is garbage. But yeah, I think that's the thing of being kids, maybe. You have all that kind of shit. But...
Have you seen the Game of Thrones board game?
No.
I think it's in its second edition now. Apparently, it's really fucking good. I think it was around before the TV show.
What is it, like
It's
Risk?
based on the books. No, it's more like have you played? I think it's a bit of like Civ mixed in with a bit of Crusader Kings ish. Like it's politicsy, like controlling regions on a board.
I haven't played either of them, so I don't really.
Sort of like Risk, but not really. With more politics and stuff.
I've never finished
Not
a
just
game of Risk.
Numbers. Risk is just dice rolls. Like
I've never finished a game though. That game takes.
I think I played like one game of Risk. It seemed interesting, but
I think that's a lot of
never
things with board
finished
games. Like, they just take so fucking long to play.
I have the base set of the Game of Thrones collectible card game, or not living card game. It's called.
I just thought I want a Game of Thrones chess set. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
one of those must exist.
Oh, I
Sure.
bet it does.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be fun to like look at what piece is what.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be the most fun part. Like, I think the king would have to be Ned Stark. Like, I think that's pretty fitting.
Mm.
Like,
Well,
well, like, the king, like he could be the king for one side, and like for the other, could be like either like Rhaegar or Tywin.
Yeah. Are we done?
I think
we were done like half an hour
Yeah.
ago with like the actual
I-
podcast.
Wouldn't blame people for having tuned out because we just started talking about Lego.
I think we had
point.
like less than an hour of actual content this week,
Yeah,
which is
probably.
pretty impressive.
I hope I can find a PS4 at some place. Like I'm just hoping for like, oh, I walk into like Sainsbury's and it's like, yeah, I've got a PS4.
Sainsbury's are the shop that is like that though, aren't they? Like,
Yeah.
out of like the main supermarkets. They are that kind of shop that's like,
and,
oh yeah, we
like-
have that.
I'm hoping that like living in Newcastle will give me a slight advantage in that, you know, it's not a massive city, so
Yeah.
there's
I mean,
less demand, I guess.
There's a lot of games in London, so I'm wondering like where I'm living now.
Yeah, just go
Is
like the
there
least
just-
likely one, like one down like a back alley or something.
I don't think there's like that many, but yeah, I just don't think there's that many people in the area who are going to be that stoked to go out at midnight and get a console. I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're all gone. Maybe it'll be fucking impossible.
I
to get
wouldn't
one
like to go
globally.
out at midnight to get a console though.
You scared? Pussy.
Well, not. I mean, that is definitely a factor, but like I would not die over a console. Like, just, you know, no.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a good trade.
That's like that is a shit. That like that is a really shitty way to go, and B, like, well, you don't really need a B. That is just a really shitty way to go.
Yep.
Like, you know, like what do you put on your tombstone? Like, gaming literally killed me. Lol. Like, you know. But yeah, like I don't know. It's just a lot of hassle. Like, it's so much easier to just walk into a shop when they open and be like, "Yep, I pre-ordered." All right, cool. You don't have to wait in line. You don't have to fucking. It's you know, it's just so much easier to just go when they regularly open and buy it.
Yeah.
Like a midnight launch is, I mean, it's kind of pointless.
It's a lot of stress for very little reward.
Yeah,
Like-
and like it completely fucks up your sleep as well. Like the midnight launches I have gone to, like me and my friend went to like the RE5 one, and then played the entire game co-op in one sitting for like 14 hours, and then we're completely fucked for like the next 3 days because we were like, yeah, but we hadn't really slept much before then, so that didn't do us any good. Gears 3 was a similar one. I stayed up for more or less like 24 hours straight playing that game when I got it midnight launch. Completed the campaign, played like fucking like 12, 14 hours of multiplayer non-stop. Yeah. It's much easier to just be, you know, be sensible, I guess. But it is fun. I'll say that.
Oh, I've never been, so I couldn't possibly comment.
I don't think I'd go now. I mean, it has been a while since I've been to a midnight launch, and when you like work, it's kind of awkward to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not really worth it. Like you'd get better use out of like a holiday day to like book the day off and then just go first thing in the morning and get it, really, than, you know, go at midnight and like fuck up sleep or something. Anyway, are we done? I think we were probably done a while ago, but
yeah, I guess.
Follow us on Twitter and all that bullshit.
By the time we record again, the PS4 will have been released in the
America.
US. In America, yes, that place. Yeah, I don't know.
Video games, people.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty fucking awesome.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Anyway, follow us on Twitter. Email us at mightyelectronicbox@gmail.com. Twitter is TMEB Podcast, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I totally didn't forget. Right. We'll see you guys next week. Say bye, John.
Goodbye.
Say bye, Brad.